This video is going to explain why James Harden, Joel Embiid, and the Philadelphia 76ers are legit championship contenders. Coming out of All-Star break, the James Harden era in Philly is off to a hot start, with 2 victories against the Knicks and the Wolves, and both wins in dominant fashion. James Harden looks like a brand new player on the Sixers compared to how he played on the Nets prior to the trade. He's averaging 28 points, 14 assists, and 9 boards a game so far as a Sixer. The 76ers have needed an elite playmaking guard next to Embiid for years now. They were trying to land one when they traded up from Markelle Fultz back in 2017, and they were also trying to trade for Kyle Lowry at last year's trade deadline. All of the attempts in the past to land that elite ball handler has failed, but now with Harden, they have one of the best offensive initiators of the past decade. Opposing defenses respect Harden so much that they often pick him up full court and send him traps and double teams out of pick and rolls. The defensive attention that Harden draws has created tons of scoring opportunities for his teammates. Harden has been one of the best passers in the league for years now, so he's able to easily punish extra defenders by diming his teammates for open shots. Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and everyone on the Sixers are getting the easiest shots they've probably ever had in their career. Now, when you compare that to the playmaking Ben Simmons brought, the difference is night and day. Don't get me wrong, Ben Simmons is a very good playmaker, and his ability to create open threes for his teammates thanks to his drive to the basket are elite. But Ben's playmaking has always been limited due to not only his inability, but his complete unwillingness to shoot. Defenders always sagged off on Ben, and this made it impossible for Philly to run any pick and roll between Ben and Embiid because opposing defenses could always just sag off of Ben and prevent the pass to Embiid. Now, for the first time in his career, Embiid has a great pick and roll partner in James Harden. For example, here Embiid and Harden run the pick and roll to perfection, and Embiid gets the and one. In this pick and roll, the Wolves double Harden, and this allows him to find Embiid for another and one. The scary thing is these two are only just starting to gain chemistry. Because Embiid and Harden are both dynamic offensive players that can score from anywhere on the court, Embiid and Harden may soon have the best two-man game in the league. And not only is Harden playmaking extremely well, but his scoring has picked up on the Sixers too. Harden's points per game were down in Brooklyn, and it was clear he physically wasn't the same to start the season. But it looks like taking 3 weeks off to rest his hamstring has done just the trick because he's been back to his normal self. The step back threes that weren't falling earlier in the year are now falling, and he's also been converting at the rim at a higher rate. With Harden playing this way, this is the true scary hours that he mentioned back in August. But while Harden is playing great, none of this would have even been possible if Embiid wasn't playing at a monster level. On the season, Embiid is averaging 30 points per game, and if he keeps up this pace, he'll be the first center since Shaq back in 2000 to lead the entire NBA in scoring. Coming off an MVP caliber season last year, Embiid has somehow managed to get even better. He's expanded his game so much that there is no answer for him on defense. His size and strength make him an unstoppable force driving to the hoop or scoring on the block. Sagging off of Embiid is a losing strategy because he's money from mid-range and money from outside, currently hitting 37% of his threes. And Embiid has also gotten better as a passer, where he's now become good at punishing double teams and traps in the post and finding the open man, which is why he's averaging a career high 4 assists per game. Perhaps the most underlooked part of Embiid's game is his ability to draw fouls. Embiid is so unstoppable that defenders often find themselves fouling him to stop him. Between Harden and Embiid, the Sixers now have the league leaders in free throws per game over the last 8 seasons, and both of these guys shoot above 80% from the free throw line. This creates an offense where opposing teams will constantly be in foul trouble, making the Sixers' job on offense a lot easier. Watching the Sixers take so many free throws may not be a pleasant sight for NBA fans, but for Sixers fans, this is going to be a sight to behold. Between Embiid and Harden, the Sixers have one of the best dynamic duos in the league, and a supporting cast around them is excellent, which gives the Sixers a great chance at a championship. Having an amazing third scoring option in Tobias Harris is a luxury most NBA teams don't have. Sixers fans have often been frustrated with Tobias' play this season, but since we've been in 2022, his play has turned around. Over his last 25 games, Tobias is averaging 18 points per game on 51% shooting from the field and 41% from 3. He has struggled a bit coming out of All-Star break, but with the way he's played in the 2 months prior, I'm sure his level of play will pick up. We're already seeing Tobias get plenty of catch-and-shoot opportunities off of Harden's playmaking. As Harris starts to get more comfortable, I'm sure he'll start knocking the open looks down at a higher rate, which will make the Sixers offense even more deadly. Another big contributor to the Sixers' success is Matisse Thybulle. Thybulle is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, where his size, length, and relentless motor make him extremely difficult to score against. Thybulle is one of the main reasons the Sixers have remained a top 10 defense even without Ben Simmons. And even though he has his limitations on offense, particularly his poor outside shooting, he's still a contributor on offense because he's an amazing cutter. He's awesome at timing his cuts to the rim when his man leaves him or gets caught ball watching, creating easy assists for his teammates. Thybulle's excellent two-way play is a primary reason the Sixers made him untouchable in James Harden trade discussions. The Sixers also made Tyrese Maxey untouchable in trade talks for James Harden, and for good reason. With Ben Simmons quitting on the team, the Sixers needed a new starting point guard, and Tyrese Maxey stepped up in a big way. Maxey has been having a great second year, averaging 17 points and 4 assists per game. Because of his quickness, he's able to regularly finish on his drives to the rim, and he's improved by leaps and bounds as an outside shooter, hitting 40% from 3 this year, which is up from 30% in his rookie year. Because Maxey is now a great outside shooter, he's a seamless fit next to James Harden, as he's able to feast off the open looks given to him from Harden's playmaking. When the Sixers traded James Harden, one of the biggest concerns was that they had to include Seth Curry, who's one of the greatest three-point shooters in league history. But the Sixers have more than enough shooters to keep the floor spread. We've already talked about Maxey and Tobias, but the Sixers also have Danny Green. Green is currently knocking down 37% of his threes and shoots 40% from 3 for his career. Georges Niang has also been one of the Sixers' most valuable floor spacers, currently shooting 39% from 3 on 5 attempts per game on the season. Even without Steph Curry, the 76ers have more than enough shooting to keep the floor spread for Embiid and Harden. Overall, the 76ers have a championship caliber team. They've got a great duo and a good supporting cast, but whether the Sixers will go all the way depends on if Embiid and Harden will step up in the playoffs. At the end of the day, the playoffs will always come down to superstars showing up in big games, and neither Harden or Embiid have proven up to this point that they can be best players on a championship team. For as good as Harden has been throughout his career, he has a huge pattern of not showing up in big games in the playoffs. Joel Embiid has also yet to prove he can lead an NBA team past the second round. The Sixers have been playing great, and they look like contenders without a doubt, but winning a championship will mostly fall on both Embiid and Harden's shoulders. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Do you think the Sixers are legit contenders? Tell me in the comments. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more dope content like this. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.